We're back. Hello and welcome. Sorry about that. That was a lot longer than we all thought that was going to be, but turns out it wasn't just as simple as changing our scenes and making sure things were working fine. Everything was on fire, but it has been slightly put out, and we are getting ready to go into our first game. So there won't be too much waffling. There won't be another break. We will get into the game as soon as possible. The teams are in the lobbies. The teams are ready to go. So it wouldn't be too long until champ select. But while we got a little moment, we'll talk about what's going on right now. We here on the NLC channel will be following the upper bracket or the promotion game. Realistically, this is a best of 5 between Lucent and Bulldog. The winner of this game will be going into the UKLC. The loser will go down into that decider match, and then over on the other channel, which is wait, is it Square One or is it?
I believe it's
oh god,
SQ on underscore league or vice versa.
Yeah, I think it's Square One.
This is your job, Jake. By the way.
Yeah, I know. I should have checked this. It is Square One. Square One are hosting our elimination match, which is Viperio Demise. The loser of that is knocked down into the UKEL. The winner of that makes it into the decider match and has one last shot. Thank you. It is definitely Square One. So if you want to catch that one, you know, you got 2 monitors, or you don't like listening to us, which is just a lie. You're lying to yourself if that's the case. The second stream is over on twitch.tv/SQ1 League, and that's where Viperio and Demise will be playing versus each other. But over here, we have Lucent versus Bulldog. And speaking of people who have impressed me throughout the entirety of the UKLC, it's the top laner for Bulldog, Hachi. The guy who solo killed Rifty multiple times on his first ever appearance.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just risen above expectations since the start of the league, and especially I recall very vividly his performance in the promotion games leading into the UKLC, because of course Bulldog had to fight for their spot at the very start of the league before the regular season even started up. And he didn't look too great. And then all of a sudden he came into that first game versus Demise and smashed Rifties. So look over twice. Went on to carry the game. So we'll see how he performs today into Rengus. Because Rengus, whilst Lucent looked pretty good, Rengus is one of the people that didn't necessarily like stand out in comparison to some of the other members on this Lucent lineup.
I think that's fair to say. As we are into champ select, one of the things that I have noticed is Zerg has had the fresh band away from him. Had that every game versus Demise 2 days ago, and he was really, really good at it. We know it's the best support at the moment on the meta. A lot of people seem to be highly prioritizing it. There were obviously kind of things taken away instead of the fresh, but with Blue Side going over to Lucent in all of their games, they were happy to first pick that fresh. It looks like Bulldog are not happy to let them do that. They are going to deny Vayne God's Vayne. No surprises there. The final ban from Lucent is going to be the Urgot away from Hachi.
Yeah, I wonder what the Urgot is actually signaling, though, because unless maybe if they've done some research and we just obviously haven't seen it, Hachi could have maybe been like, prepping this pick a little bit. So we'll have to actually see what exactly that pick the ban is for, but for now we're going to see the Volibear first pick, which I'm not really too surprised about, because I think this champion is incredibly strong on this path. And
flexible. It's very flexible. We saw G2 Arctic just clap Fnatic in European Masters in the second game with a Volibear jungle, so something to keep in mind on that one. Over on the side of Bulldog, what are they looking to pick up here? There's still a fair few power picks open to them if they want to get it. The Lilia is going to be their jungler choice. The Hecarim was open. Decided to go for that Lilia instead. And we'll see what the next pickup is going to be. It's probably not going to be a Kiana. Haven't seen her for a little while.
Yeah, no, Zion always hovers the Kiana. It must just be a pick for himself that he used to maybe play, or he's just hovering it for somebody else. A lot of people do that. But yeah, okay, we're going to actually see the Gragas taken up here. Still very blindable, and Poke, I believe, is more than capable of playing this champion. And it also kind of dissuades the potential Rel pickup if Zerg wants to go down that route, because of course Rel is still very much a very strong champion, and with Fresh down, it does typically make her a little easier to pick up. But we will see what Lucent want to take in rotation here, because the Volibear on this patch typically does go in the jungle, and we're actually going to see a very, very early Bard lock-in, which is very interesting. So that just must be something that Zerg feels comfortable playing almost blind, even if the Gragas isn't going to end up in the bottom side. And now Lucent, they have to blind pick somewhere. It's got to be the AD carry or most likely the mid laner. But knowing Lucent, they're likely to take up the Vanguard.
I feel like the Jinx is probably the picker because they were third picking Jinx in most of their games. Although this time they're actually gone for the Kai'Sa. In their game versus Demise, the first 2 games, they just traded Jinx for Kai'Sa in both of those games. Not wanting to let VUC get his hands onto the Kai'Sa. Good pickup for him, to be fair. So kind of an understandable denial here. And maybe Bulldog go for something like the Jinx if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think it could be a bit risky into Bard plus Volibear when you don't know what the rest of the composition is. But AD to AD, totally right. So I think it's going to be okay to take for VUC. And I mean, there's not many better champions to have VUC's playstyle on where you just walk around the map and farm up a storm. So let's see now what the ban focus is. Because for Bulldog, you know, you could very easily look towards banning out mid laners and top laners, but it's likely the 2 picks that you also want to take in your R4 and R5. So maybe looking to more target one of each depending on what they want to take up. Or I think actually hitting Dom's champion pool seems to be a pretty common trend in this second ban phase. Lucent had this happen to them in their previous series as well. And it was Lily and Orianna banned out both times. So let's see if Bulldog follow that trend.
It's interesting though, because to me, I haven't really followed Nice Guy Dom for a very long time, but from the few games I saw from him, he showed to have a fairly wacky and wide champ pool. Game number 1 versus Demise, he picked up the Malzahar. Game 2, it was the Ziggs. Malzahar impressed me a lot more than the Ziggs did, if I'm going to be completely fair with you. I think he was 0 and 9 or something at the end of that game. Not particularly the greatest performance, but he does have a wide champion pool. So we know that the Zillion did get banned away from him, ban phase 2 in pretty much every game as well. So another kind of like respect ban from him. And speaking of respect bans, the Malzahar, there he goes. The UC doesn't want to have to worry about a QSS tax here. And now the final ban coming in for the side of Lucent. I expect this to probably be another top laner, something they don't really want to go up against on Hachi. Maybe the Camille that has been left open.
Camille could be one. Gnar could also be the other. If you ban out the Gnar, then I think it sort of removes one of the safer blind picks, and then Hachi has to potentially pick something a little more aggressive unless he wants to go down the tank route. But again, Camille. So I mean, for me, yeah, you could go down the GP route. I don't think, has Hachi played a GP game? I feel like we just had a very severe lack of GP players at UKLC. So my eyes would personally be on the Gnar, though. I guess it's kind of foregoing the fact that with the Bard being bought, they might want to actually send Gragas to the top lane.
You are correct. Oh no!
The Hovers are telling us differently, but for now we're gonna get this AD mid with the Lilia.
So Pillar absolutely slapped Nice Guy Dom on this matchup in game 2 2 days ago. So this is actually a really nice pickup there for Shiklin. We know Shiklin's the kind of player who can pilot a champion like this. And the question is what's Nice Guy Dom going to pick into it? Actually goes for something a bit standard and picking up the Orianna as his blind, as not really his blind pick, as his kind of rounding out pick here. And now looking to find out whether or not this Volibear is going jungle or in the top lane. Lucent are looking to find themselves one last champion to add in here. And it looks like we might be seeing something a bit more team fight orientated, kind of add to that front line that Lucent have already started to put together with the Ornn. I like this comp, actually. I do like what they've got going here.
Yeah, I mean, it's very sort of front to back. You don't necessarily have to go crazy on dive just because you've got Volibear and the Kai'Sa. You can very much sort of pick and choose your targets. You've got non-committal engages via the Shockwave and the Ornn ultimates. So yeah, I'm totally okay with this. And actually same for the Bard too. And here we go. We're actually going to get Hachi most likely piloting that Silas into the Ornn. And I mean, he's got some pretty powerful ultimates to steal away here. Ornn ult, naturally, of course. Bard, Shockwave, Volibear ultimate. Even the Killer Instinct has a fair amount of value sometimes. So
I don't think it's a bad ult. I genuinely don't think there's a bad ult for him here.
Still here. There really isn't. And Bulldog running a little more on the top side, kind of a skill check-esque composition. There isn't really much of a true front line here for Bulldog, which could be something for Lucent to exploit, particularly when trying to find picks onto this Jinx. But it's not like she doesn't have peel tools around her. She's going to have the Gragas, she's going to have the Lilia to be able to sleep any diving targets. So VUC, he's going to have to be a little more cautious than usual, but he's definitely most likely going to have a hard time into some of these ultimates that Lucent are running.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my worry for VUC is there's just a lot you've kind of got to kite around. Like, sure, if you get a kill and you do start to get the resets, but you can get slowed by the Bard, you can get kind of followed up by the Kai'Sa and just the shockwaves and things. There's a lot of things you have to navigate through on the Jinx, but on the other side, as long as the Kai'Sa doesn't get like hard focused out, as long as Vengel kind of, doesn't get jumped onto by Hachi and Shiklin, with the front line that they've put together, I actually do think Lucent just have like in a strict 5-on-5 team fight scenario, do have a nice comp put together. The question is can they make it to those 5-on-5s? Because I like the Yone versus Orianna matchup is sure Yone kind of needs to get a couple of levels until he can go for the full combo, but he can start to get really, really hard for Orianna to deal as the game goes on. Silas versus the Ornn, I feel like that is just, we know that matchup. Ornn's going to be he's going to be an alt bot. That's his job. So the bot lane is my question. You said earlier that you think strictly AD carry to AD carry, the Jinx is fine here. But when we factor in the supports and the 2v2s, how do you think of these? What do you think of this lane?
I think the bot lane's kind of interesting because normally when you run something like Bard, you tend to see AD carries that are a little more self-sufficient, right? Things like the Ezreal, you can to some degree chuck the Sivir under that same kind of category where you can kind of leave them there in the bottom side and they more often than not should be fine at dealing with most dive scenarios. Or at the very least, they'll trade out or they'll be able to clear waves or make it very difficult to be dove. But Kai'Sa isn't really that champion until level 6. So
True.
It's certainly a bit of a strange pairing. I think in terms of priority in the early laning phase, Lucent can potentially win out. I think that's actually going to come down to whether or not Lucent or Bulldog, the bot lanes actually leash for their jungler on the bottom side. So I guess keep our eyes on that once we do get into game. But I think on like maybe a 2v2 level, I don't expect these guys to go for anything too crazy. More looking at Zerg to maybe sort of leave the lane, come that level 3 point, and try and open up the map with Wilhelm here on this Volibear.
So if you are the jungler, if you are the junglers, there's not two junglers in this game. Where's your attention going right now? What's your thought process in the early game?
I mean, for me, if I'm Wilhelm, I'm looking at the top lane and I'm like, yeah, I could go top early on and I could impact it before I start to obviously focus on Vanguard on this Kai'Sa, who's likely going to be our primary damage dealer in the late stages. But honestly, it's Ornn versus Silas, and Silas in this particular game is almost always going to have value because of the amount of key ultimates he can steal away. So I'd expect Wilhelm to honestly just probably start top, full clear down towards the bottom side, and see if he can make anything happen on the bottom side. And maybe look for a scuttle through some priority if he does have it, which I expect this lane for Lucent will do. And for Zion, kind of awkward. He has lanes to play around, but at the same time, he probably wants to try and outpace the Volibear as best he can and hit that level 6 mark ASAP.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see, because honestly, in a game like this, Lilia can go down the power farm route, or she can very easily kind of try to look to annoy Volibear on some of his camps as he's farming.
You guys know the drill by now. If you realize what's going on, you are still looking at our faces going, why isn't there a video game on my screen right now? It's because we're having internet issues, not on our end, on one of the players' ends. So we are waiting for them to sort their ping out and get themselves into the game. Actually, I don't think it's even ping. I think it's actually just a flat disconnect. But when they get themselves back onto the game, we will be getting ready to go in. But unfortunately, as our producer says, when it rains, it pours, and it's hailing actually at the moment right now. Everything has gone horribly. It's today has actually been pain. Before the show started, I was sitting watching the G2 Arctic versus Fnatic game, crying as we got absolutely slapped. I hope Pride doesn't blame himself too hard, but that was especially that game 2 was a bit of a top gap.
It seems as we're talking about it, I think it was more a draft gap than a player to play.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Let's be real. Game 2, I saw a lot of Pride sitting in bushes looking for picks that just weren't going to happen, and he got Flame Horizoned at 22 minutes. Let's be completely clear on what just went down.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty player-wise, no, but
I think you're right.
Fnatic didn't have like an avenue to play either game. I was talking with Orcs and Scoundrel and Munchables as well, and for game 1 they had Twisted Fate with 2 weak side lanes that they can't play towards. Kalista had Cleanse and the other side lane was GP. and this Galio is also, there's 2 globals. TF never gets to ult to a side lane for free. And in game 2, I mean, they kind of just give over Volibear and Rel again for a Kai'Sa first pick. I don't know.
Well, we got a bit of time.
Yeah.
Shall we actually do something we didn't do during the pre-show because everything's set on fire? Let's bring out the predictions. And see what everyone's predicting. Now, you see 2 faces on there that aren't me and you, Jamada. We'll get onto our predictions in a moment. We got Nymera and CJ. I am so sorry, guys. I should know how to say your names. Nymera and CJ over on the Square One League. Every one of us is going 3-1 Lucent here. The difference is in that second series. I went 3-1 Demise. You went 3-2 Viperio.
Yeah. I'm not convinced by Demise. I'm really not. And I think in that Viperio Bulldog series, that Viperio were the better team. I've said it since that series. I'll say it now, still pretty confidently. Viperio, their biggest enemy that night was themselves. So I think probably a 4 to 5 game series. I put down a 5 game series towards Viperio just because, you know, I expect the Mize to at least put up a fight. But yeah, I can see Viperio taking down the Mize in a lot of situations here. And it seems the color casters both agree, but the play-by-plays have a little more faith in Demise.
I'm just sorry. I'm reading the chat. Yeah, you're right, Jamada. Whatever you said was absolutely.
Wow.
I completely agree with you. Looks like the game is actually ready to get going. We are 21 minutes late, but we are almost ready to get going with our first game of the day. I'm sure. Has anyone got an update on what's going on the Square One stream right now? Like, I actually wonder how far into a game they are right now.
They're probably 15 minutes in. If I had
they've probably had first blood, maybe a couple of dragons.
2 dragons
instead.
At least.
We have just nattered. We have just nattered. But things are moving on my screen. The game is ready. It looks like everyone's loaded in. It looks like, thank God, we're into our first game. Whew.
Took
Max,
a while, guys.
Roll it. Let's get into the game. Let's get away from our ugly mugs. Even though you are looking a lot better in your new camera, Jamada.
True. Thank you. Yeah.
I like true. Just fact.
True. Factual. It came yesterday. I still need to work on some of the lighting things. As you may notice, I'm a little bright, guys.
You're a clever chap. That's true.
We're getting there. Onto Summoner's Rift we go. Game 1.
We made it! This is Bulldog versus Lucent. This is game number 1. Don't worry, we got 5 more of these ones, bad boy. As we're getting ready to go into this series. Remember, the winner of this promotes into the UKLC. The loser of this drops down into their final chance. Last chance saloon. If you lose another best of 5 after this, you are out of here. If you win, you're through. There is a chance that we will have 2 new teams joining us in the summer split of the UKLC.
Yeah.
Which would be very exciting if that happens.
Yeah, and would be pretty excited for Viperio in particular out of 2 UKO orgs, just because Viperio have been trying to promote into the UKLC for a very long time now, about 3 to 4 splits worth of time, which if you do the maths, it's almost 2 years they've been fighting.
That is 2 years. If it's 4 splits, that's 2 years.
Well, in some regions, you know, of course, we have the winner split too, so let's not forget, Jake. It's
but
not
we
all just
don't.
about the we don't.
We don't.
We don't. That is very, very.
If you were talking more general than just the UK scene, then sure, I'll let you get away with that one, buddy. But we just have 2 splits. We do have a Winter Cup. I don't know. I don't know if we're having one this year. I hope we do. We did have a Winter Cup last time.
The NLC4 was pretty cool. I hope we do see the return of that cup.
That's where you had your debut, buddy, with us.
Yeah. That was a great 2v, for the record. But back to the game temporarily. Did see Lucent actually leash their jungler in Wilhelm, and it doesn't actually seem like it's going to yield too big of an issue in terms of priority, because the UC and Poke didn't really opt to shove the wave or anything like that. So it looks like they may hit level 2 at roughly the same time. As there you go. No issues there for Vanguard or Zerg as Hachi. See, Ornn is still Ornn.
Yeah.
Doesn't. I mean, okay. If he had his Brittle proc up.
I mean, like, he could literally flash grass proc him here. Oh no, Hachi just Kingslays and gets his health back.
Yeah, and all of a sudden the lane is back to almost parity in HP. Yeah, so definitely going to keep my eyes on top lane, especially with Wilhelm actually pathing up there. Though Rengus has actually delivered this wave a little quick, so doesn't look like we'll get a dive on this wave.
I feel like it's hard, even with the Silas at level 3. He's got the chain lash at this point.
The thing is, though, Volibear does so much burst damage, and if you put that in tandem with the Brittle proc plus a knockout from Ornn, there's certainly enough CC to burn down somebody that's at about 70 HP. Or 70
And the interesting thing as well is Brittle actually gives your CC a little bit extra duration. I think that's one of the things people forget. They just forget, they remember the Brittle proc damage, but it actually does extend your CC when you've got Brittle on you.
Yeah, I can't remember the flat percent. I think it increases CC by something like 30 to 50. Dom just decided to melee range.
No, he's baiting. He's baiting. Although I don't know who's baiting who. As Schicklin lands himself the knockup. Diane comes in, and that's the flash out from Nice Guy. Wilhelm, the Sky Splitter makes his way forwards and just zones them away.
Yeah. And like that, we will have our junglers return to farming. And Nice Guy Dom had to exchange his flash for survival there, or at least not getting chunked out too hard. Interesting gank, but I want to know exactly where Wilhelm will actually look to focus on more, because that looked like more of a reactive play than a proactive one. As
the
actually interrupted,
stopped his knockup from the Syrian charge. Beautiful by Hachi there.
That was real cute. I like that. Now that we're past those sort of first 2 levels or so, Silas is going to be absolutely fine in this lane. Now, it's not actually the spellbook Ornn, which the spellbook version of Ornn.
I don't know who wins this, actually. It's getting pretty close. It's almost Rengus going down, but Hachi just about unable to find the kill.
Just short, just shy of lethal range. But if we're talking, slight optimizations, a lot of Ornn players actually like running the spellbook, to my knowledge, into the Silas, because you can get access, of course, to things like the ignite, the barrier, the exhaust, those kind of things. And it can honestly push your 1v1 over the edge in that top lane, over the grass.
Actually, I like that from Zerg. Waiting out the belly bop so he doesn't get interrupted.
Yeah, it would have been pretty awkward. Nice Guy Dom going to eat a bit of a trade here. And, a lot of members here around this mid lane, actually. Not too sure what the goal is, but it seems like Zion actually wants to steal away this Raptor camp. So it's going to play a little bit of annoyance, but still looking like it's going to go over, though. The fight hard could potentially be baiting us into something. Schicklin, potentially the recipient of a gang.
Remember, Nice Guy's out of mana. He's going to get caught by the Fate Sealed. And under the tower, Schicklin goes. A lot of CC being laid in, and that is first blood to the Yone. Zion flashing away from Wilhelm to safety. Oh, another knock-up with that Mortal Steel's available for Schicklin, but I think they're just shoving the wave.
Yeah, and not only that, actually, because Zion ticked 6, I think he could have put Wilhelm to sleep because he had his passive on him. So Wilhelm kind of fortunate Zion wasn't a little faster on the keyboard there, but he's going to look for this scuttle, but Poke's still in the area, and Schicklin could honestly teleport to this fight if need be.
They got the sleep, they've got the cleanse, they've got everything they need. The Call of the Forge Gods coming in, and the Shockwave will land onto 2. One of them being the Crab, so it's only a champion. Nice Guy Dom now getting zoned away by Schicklin. Zion on the run, and Schicklin able to get his support, and his jungler out, although Rengus is hunting, and Schicklin is just continuing the trade, looking for Zerg here. He's got the Soul Unbound. He's going to ping that to safety. Wow. Zion is out of there.
Rengus didn't commit for his pathing. He didn't walk all the way around. Didn't catch Zion. Actually makes that recall happen. So yeah, I mean, just a bit of an overreach by Wilhelm. Like, there's no real need to want to try and take that Skull Crab. You know you don't have priority. You even saw Poke in the river because of that control ward, which is now on our screens there in that top mid lane rush. So I'm not entirely sure what the decision making was there from Wilhelm. Perhaps thinking that because Rengus had first move and Nice Guy Dom would respawn and have teleport, that it would be a play that could potentially be a positive.
Schicklin, Fate and Sealed is actually coming up fairly soon. He's getting a bunch of really nice trades into Nice Guy Dom. Nice Guy Dom has shown us that he's not that confident into the Yone matchups, apparently. First on the Ziggs, now on the Orianna. This time, farming okay, is only down a little bit to Shiklin. But Poke is in the bot lane, only level 4. Vanguard does have his level 6. There's a Bard coming in as well, so don't think they're going to find anything here. Well, the Zion's about to get his sleep back, and Shiklin does have his ulti, so I expect we could see maybe some action break out in this mid lane once again, as Nice Guy Dom still doesn't have his flash for a little bit. But UC and Poke just pretending that they don't know Wilhelm's in the area.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a pretty nice slow stacked up wave, but the longer they keep the wave in this slow stacking position, the longer they're gonna be in a position to get ganked. But that's a nice body slam.
Yeah, it is. And now they're firing away. They did get a good stun off onto VUC, but the teleports are coming in. It looks like it's time for the fight. There's a call of the Forge God onto Hachi, but gets interrupted by Rengus. And that is going to be that.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Rengus, I might leave Hachi to fully channel out that TP, unless he had the ultimate on him, which I wasn't too sure whether or not he'd stolen away that ultimate before or after the teleport. Nice guy.
He might be feeling it. He might be. No, he's not. Oh, the minion auto! 4 HP. 4 HP!
Ooh. That was close. That was a clincher. As you rightfully said, honestly, Nice Guy Dom's not had a great time into these Yone players so far. First Pillars and now Shiklin. Having a rough time of it, in all honesty. So, gold, pretty much about 1.8k ahead for Bulldog here, as that wave is actually going to bring it up to 2,000. Biggest gold lead between two laners looks to be the junglers at this current time. Whilst mid lane pretty
80 carry. Sorry, mid is the same as well, I believe.
Yeah, mid's about equal, yeah. As Bulldog going to be the ones to make it to this dragon first, taking advantage of Lucent's recall, so they will find this. This does mean, however, Lucent on this side of the map, they're going to have a little bit of initiative if they want to try and set up a play. See where Bulldog actually decide to open back out, though, whether they send VUC and Poke back to the top side to potentially look to begin some kind of Herald play. As they see Vanguard is on the bottom side, and Bard hasn't actually shown his face, and that's one thing we have to keep our eyes on with whether or not Bulldog actually secure the Herald. If they do, tracking the Bard once Bard hits level 6, because of course Bard can deny a lot of the Herald plays as long as he's practically within half a map of where the Herald's being placed.
One of those, it's the secret counter to Herald. You kind of always forget about that with Bard, but it's one of those things. As now it looks like a bit of action looks to be breaking out here in the bots in the top side. I say that Rengus dodges a swell seed, and that is going to be all she wrote on that one.
Didn't feel confident in coming, and you can kind of understand. Not enough information to actually force that play out. You never know whether or not Wilhelm is going to be waiting there, and I'm not too sure they had vision on Bard either. So it could be walking into a 3v3.
But for now, they haven't actually started up this Rift Herald, even with the fact that they sent Rengus back. Vanguard quite happy just to play solo lane, really. Yeah. Zerg waiting off in the wings, but Vanguard the same level as Hachi. He's the same level as the top laners right now.
Yeah, same for VUC though. VUC is also
true.
Late. Yeah, 80 carries quite accelerated in XP. The supports.
The supports are having a time. Zerg's not 6 though, so you're talking about the counter to the Rift Herald. Technically, can't actually do anything about it at the moment. Yeah, finally right thinks 6 and gets himself the LT, and Hachi now in trouble. He's just going to steal the Tempered Fate, but he can't even use it in time. The CC's just way too big, and Vanguard's going to find himself the kill. On the tail end of this, though, Bulldog are now finally going to start up this Herald, and they'll be able to pick this one up. Probably looking to use that top lane and gather some extra gold into this Jinx.
Yeah, if Zerg had his thinking cap on right now, he would have been beelining it straight to the top lane after this play, but he wants to stick around on the bottom side and try and help Vanguard take down some plates. But I think if you do some of the maths on it... Oh, Zion? I think Zion should just commit. Yeah, commit. Put the Herald down. Or see if Lucent are going to actually commit. There you go. But Zerg honestly could have really put a spanner in the works in this scenario. And honestly, Lucent would have probably slingshotted ahead in net gold, at least for the play.
I really don't think Poke should have stayed there. I think Poke should have walked away and given that solo gold to VUC. Because meanwhile, sure, there was a lot of gold just injected in to VUC, but he's still only 100 gold up over Vanguard.
Yeah.
Because Vanguard, first of all, did get a kill, but has been picking up most of those plates solo in the bot lane. So a lot of gold kind of been shared out here. Now Shiklin has to ult away the safety. Has got Zion in the area, though, so no one else is going to commit to him. But the ultimate down.
Lowers the kill threat onto Nice Guy Dom. So can lane a little more comfortably for the next 2 minutes or so. But yeah, very surprised to not see the Bard used specifically for the Herald. Maybe it's something they weren't thinking about in the moment. I think all in all, it didn't really change the gold difference between these two teams. The overall gold difference. Of course, the gold shifted a little bit between individual members. But we kind of just returned to a map state where there's just no top tier 1 for Lucent.
It does make Rengus's life a little bit harder. And it does look like they're actually switching the lanes out now. Hatchie's going into mid side, and Shiklin's playing side lanes. Obviously, the big thing is the Dragon's coming up, but Shiklin would have had it. Sorry, Hatchie would have had his teleport for it in time, but I think they're just quite happy mixing up the lane assignment, giving Shiklin the side lanes just to be able to be a real nuisance. He's got 2 levels. A level over Rengus right now.
Yeah, so 2 levels on Archie. Archie has been struggling a bit for XP.
Well, he was playing weak side while the top lane play was happening.
He was, and he did miss out on quite a few waves, so it's understandable, of course. Not critique, but seems like Lucent probably going to have set up on this Dragon, or at least first move with this bottom wave. VUC's going to have to at least stay here and eat it whilst the Dragon is about to spawn. Rockets are going to make pretty fast work of the wave.
You're able to handle that one. The wave state's in a much better place for them, and as it looks like Bulldog are now the ones who are moving into the area. The Dragon's going to get started out. They've got a couple of wards about, not anything too big. Zerg will spot out this is going on, but it does look like Lucent aren't even interested in dealing with this, as they throw a Void Seeker out as their one little attempt to stop this from going down. So we are looking at a Cloud Soul game here.
Yeah, very interesting. Cloud Soul, pretty high value for Lucent. A lot of these ultimates you would like to have off cooldown ASAP. And honestly, kind of the same for Bulldog almost across.
Do you think? Because I was looking at this going, I don't know if Bulldog use.
I mean, they might not
Cloud
use the Cloud
as well
Soul itself, but
yeah,
things like okay.
VUC. He has got the flash, he has got the heal, he's going to throw down the traps, he's trying to zone away, takes a lot of damage from Post coming in, gets himself the belly pop, the zap's coming in, the cask knocks Vanguard away from the Swirl Seed, and the rockets are coming in from VUC. He throws out the Super Mega Death Rocket, Zerg is low, Fate Sealed lands onto 2, Poke belly slams forwards, and Shiklin takes out Vanguard. Rengus gets continued to rain down on as Zion finds the kill, and VUC will not be able to find this one. This is a double kill for Shiklin. 3 members of Lucent fall to none of Bulldog.
Yeah, this is the issue. This was still technically Bulldog's strong side. They had Wilhelm reset, and Bulldog just took the Dragon, so it's not like it was a crazy long time ago since Bulldog members were in the area. And it's just a great ultimate. At the start, it looked like by Zerg to lock up VUC, but the teleports are swift, and the numbers are back down here very quickly. And Lucent can't really keep up with the numbers. The teleport on the bottom side there by the Ornn is a little bit too slow. And you'll see the Fate Seal from Shiklin is just nice. The cast to separate Zerg, he's kind of pretty much a non-factor here. And once that sleep lands onto 2 members, it would have set up for Shiklin if he even really needed it. Still found it whilst they were in the drowsy state.
Fate Sealed as well.
Yeah.
The Fate Sealed even stopped the Call of the Forge God, which actually probably could have killed VUC if it hit him. He was very low.
Potentially. And one of the things, normally you see it a little bit earlier than this, but I imagine just kind of at the pace that we've had the game go on. One thing that's kind of scary to look at is the interaction between Lilia and, of course, Yone. You know, it's pretty free setup. If Zion has flash, or even is just able to land the abilities, puts people to sleep, all of a sudden they are free Fate Sealed targets. And you see the combination a lot. It's very potent as one ultimate just used to force Nice Guy Dom away from tower. Maybe I was running out as Shicklin.
He's gonna get jumped onto, puts the ulti to pull back, has to flash away. They've already followed up on one. He's soul on bounds, he zips back, and Vengod will find himself the shutdown easy as, but he may just find himself taken out as the UC is gonna get the skill. Poke. Poke. Why? Why would you do that?
That's funny. Yeah, felt like he wanted the assist, man. Could have definitely
Look, he's fed enough. He's 2-0. His already carry can't catch a break because everyone keeps stealing the kills.
And not only that, Vusi's got to play into such an irritating team comp. Ahead or not, it is still going to be a nuisance. Oh well, these things do happen. Find the play onto Shicklin. That was a pretty huge shield between the shield bow and his own, what's it called? Spirit Cleave, I believe, the W.
Yeah, Spirit Cleave. Sorry, you caught me yawning. I to ask you a question. Well, the one time where I'm yawning, yeah.
But yeah. Shicklin unable to find another auto attack, get some of that lifesteal back into his HP bar. And Bulldog again. Gonna be the ones on another neutral objective. Lucent haven't actually picked up on any so far in this game.
Really good in the neutral objective area. Really good on the neutral objectives.
Yeah, Bulldog has been pretty
pick it up. There we go.
Why
is it with relegations and junglers almost forgetting?
He got halfway through the channel of his recall. Do you remember?
Yes, that was pain. That was genuine pain.
Oh man, that day nearly sent me over the edge.
I mean, day one was worse, and I wasn't on day one. Day one was...
Yeah.
You and Viper must have had a bloody corker every time watching that.
You know, the thing is...
Slash lost some years of your life.
Yeah, Viperoon loves watching me have meltdowns on cast. It's actually, it just must be a kind of
it's a play-by-play thing. We love it when colors don't get to watch proper League of Legends. It's our favorite thing.
It feels so cursed, man. Anytime he's on the UKLC, you just seem to get these Clown Fiesta games.
That's just the UKLC.
I mean, it is, but let's not talk about it. Wilhelm's actually looking potentially for a dive here. Tower disabled.
He's got flash. He's got flash if he's quick. Oh, still no, he got caught. Down he goes, and the shutdown is picked up. Here comes the Swirl Seed. Not going to hit anyone, and that Jinx is dead.
Yeah, real nice timing by Zerg there to actually still find the stun despite the UC flashing away. That's the thing. If the stun connects on the target, it will still travel through, and even if that target dashes, I'm not sure what Poke's doing, you still get stunned up. So Lucent now. Oh, wow. The dragon still snuck away by Bulldog. Didn't actually get to look at that on the minimap. Had my eyes focused on the mid lane. I'm going to say they would have been able to have moved in to the river with the numbers and the priority, but real nice heads-up play by Shicklin and Zion. Lucent didn't actually have the setup, the vision setup around the dragon, so it meant sneaking away. That was pretty easy. Did he build something? Didn't.
I assume it's boots.
Yeah, maybe it's boots.
It must be his boots. Because he's had that bramble, I think.
Yeah, I miss when Ornn, you got the stats from what you actually bought. That was...
It's like partial
it wasn't
stats,
balanced,
isn't it?
But say that again. Jake.
Did that?
Yes.
I didn't think that happened. The reason I didn't say anything was because I thought my eyes lied to me. No. I genuinely thought that didn't happen.
He's just too good. Can you do?
I've inhaled too much wood today, and I think it's messed my brain. That probably doesn't work in context. Out of context, that probably doesn't work. Context. The context is I've been doing woodworking in the days recently, and
there you go. Hey,
there we go. There it is, though. Like you said, stopping that charge, and down it goes. The tower is going to stand. 22 minutes into the game, we have a 2-item Jinx and a 2-item Kai'Sa. The UC got the Kraken Slayer and the Phantom Dancer. And a Collector and a Kraken Slayer for Vengod.
Mythics long ago came into pockets here is Wilhelm actually looking for a play here onto Archie.
It's the Forge of the Forge Gods as there are rams jamming everywhere, putting two members to sleep. Hachi flashes out, Hachi goes back in, but the ultimate comes down from Shiklin, who slides back out to safety. Everfrost will catch onto him and he is slowed. Nice go Dom, goes for the Stormbearer and completely whiffs it. He's looking to jump onto Zerg, and Zerg party portals to safety. Lucent have done it again, have turned a dire situation back around. The Void Seeker by Vanguard is going to connect to Nice Guy Dom, connects on the double kill with Poke, junks Zerg.
Arctic barrel on the head of the Bard right there at the back end of the fight. And as you say, Wilhelm going for the play at the very beginning. And the response looked pretty good from Bulldog, but at the end of the day, it ends up being a 2 for 3, all things considered. There will be a neutral objective take on the back end. No Baron startup, too many members dead on either side for it to be a actual safe startup. Shiklin wasn't quite able to find the impact he perhaps wanted, being the first one of the outsiders to that skirmish, as Poke is actually
in trouble. Genuinely in trouble. He's okay though.
It looked pretty sketchy at the start there, but for Bulldog, we're actually one dragon away from this Cloud Soul now, because of the heads up play that the mid and jungle had during their unfortunate scenario where VUC found himself dove in the mid lane. Managed to think that one away. Get the replay here. And it's just Archie a little bit far up the lane, doing a little bit of research maybe into the enemy jungle. Does steal away the Call of the Forge Gods and does manage to actually get it off before flashing away. But oh no, actually stunned, so missed it. I believe that was his one. I'm actually not entirely sure, but
it was his one.
The Shiklin ultimate doesn't quite manage to take down Rengus, and Zion left in the middle of 3 members, but doesn't get burst down. And on the bottom side, Shiklin almost finds Zerg, but just misses out on the final wall. Still is on our live, actually. Bard ultimate just barely misses onto the UC, but they're still going for the play.
Oh, they are. They're going to throw the cask as the ram hits onto 1. Zerg going to get himself out from this one. The Swirl Seed has been thrown out, and it will hit Nice Guy Dom, but not really going to pull the trigger on the sleep. 50 seconds until Cloud Soul spawns up. Bulldog using Hachi in the top lane, Shiklin in the bot lane. Hachi obviously has his teleport, Shiklin does not. So he's okay to split push out for the moment.
Yeah, but looking at his items, he's probably really close to his Cosmic Overdrive. I'd imagine that's what the second item is going to be here for Hachi. So I would expect him to want to base kind of... Could we get a quick flick to Gold Observe, if you don't mind? Oh, he's not really far away. Wow. All right, well, still components there for Hachi on that item. Could maybe look to buy a stopwatch for the importance of this fight, but judging by how much gold he just lost, I think he just went for the Kindle gem. As Bulldog, they're the ones with the priority. They're first here in the river. But
yeah, they jumped straight onto Shiklin, who's had to flash away already. Uses that Mortal Shield Steel to get over the wall. They haven't really got the members in the area yet, but looking to start it up already as Vyusi's going to get hit by the ulti. Shiklin dumps onto the backline, only catches onto 1, and Vanguard is firing away into him. There's already been a shutdown picked up as Vyusi's lost his life. Now they're going to turn it around. Vanguard firing off. Poker's been caught. Sleep lands onto 2 members, and Vanguard is just untouched, free firing away. Hachi does get himself 1, but it is just a pop-up by Vanguard. He's got himself everyone. A quadra kill for Vanguard.
Rengus with the pop-off knock-up as well to keep his AD carry alive to make that quadra kill happen. Lucent, they're going to deny the soul. Really clutch stuff from the top laner and AD carry there. And Vanguard was just kind of left unchecked, all attacking everybody for free, surviving the Shiklin dive on the backside. It started off with Shiklin getting chunked out. I'm curious to see how he found backline access. It looks like that blast cone. The Bard ultimate finds onto Vyusi, but I think the shockwave is mistimed. No, it's actually hit onto Zion and Poke, but it doesn't really do much. It's slowing them down, yes, but they're kind of walking back and forth. And on the backside, Vanguard, he finds Shiklin, and then at this moment, the sleep comes down, and you kind of think, maybe Hachi, maybe Zion can capitalize on it. And Hachi goes in, he finds the Bard, and then all of a sudden, Vanguard, it looks like he's going to go down, but this knock-up interrupts the watch out eat, and Vanguard doesn't drop to the damage. Quadra kill to the AD carry. Really great micro there from the Lucent players. Bulldog, they just fall short of being able to make that soul actually become a reality.
And at the end of that fight, Rengus upgraded Vanguard's Kraken Slayer to the Worm Fallen Sacrifice. So now 3.5 items effectively, making that 4 with the BF sword. Off the back of that one, making him even stronger. He's level 15 right now. closing in on that level 16 mark.
Joint
AD carries
player
are
game.
giga accelerated in this game.
Yeah,
I mean, like, Vanguard is just getting everything.
So like, here's the thing. By the numbers, I haven't actually looked at... I don't think there's like XP difference on the stats that I do have. But when you look at Vyusi, right, he's got the highest CS per minute in the league. So you kind of normally expect him to be, by proxy, always pretty high leveled in a lot of his games. But this just feels like one of those kind of once in every 10 games where AD carries the same levels of solo laners that you do see in the UKLC. As Lucent, they're trying to force so hard right now.
Yeah, they feel like they've got it as well. The casters come out. They're just going to slide straight back into the back pocket, and Vanguard cashes in on the kill. Teleport's coming in. Wilhelm's low. Ulti by Shiklin. Only clips onto Nice Guy Dom, who goes instantly golden. Hatchy has to ult himself. Dodging around the swirl seed. Vanguard gets himself a double kill as he is just free firing away still. Wilhelm on the run as Shiklin continues to chase him down. They're on that cloud area. Zerg's going to flash forward for the slow. The traps get layered down. Vanguard being zoned out for the moment. Wants to take that portal, but doesn't quite have the information to work with. As Rengar signs himself the knock-up. A teleport's coming in. Shiklin gets a massive shield off and is shut down. He does get a kill on the tail end of it, but it is members on Bulldog who are losing their life here in this fight. It is an ace, a 4-for-1, a 5-for-1.
Yeah, certainly excited, overexcited even. Vyusi and Zai stepping too far forward, forgetting the fact that they still had to deal with Rengus in that red bush. And all of a sudden, it's going to turn into a Baron. There is going to be no response here for Bulldog. Unless maybe we see a miracle steal here by Poke. It would be pretty comical and it would fit. Seems as all of a sudden I just realized Wilhelm doesn't have Smite. This is actually kind of doable.
Do it, man. Oh,
win.
No. Too early. Too early. It would reset a bit. Poke's dead. Poke is dead. Oh! He's out. Had a swig. What is in that? Well, with his other casks, you can kind of tell what it's in there. But
like
what is in there?
Normally, but like this is the Arctic Dragon skin, so he's supposed to be a Spec Ops soldier or something. I don't know. Anyway, Wilhelm and co, they just find Poke in the river. They kind of just say, hey, this is our territory right now. This isn't actually the place where you belong right here. And see the teleport on the backside from Hachi, and this Fate Seal does land onto Nice Guy Dom, but he's got the stopwatch to at least buy a little bit of time. And doesn't actually end up dropping because of it. And the Shockwave doesn't really find much. Shiklin snaps back, isn't able to actually chase down Wilhelm, and Vanguard, in the meanwhile, find himself that double kill. The slow here doesn't actually turn into that stun. And it's kind of Lucent somewhat overreaching a bit. And Vyusi...
Oh my lord!
Oh, the live. See, Vyusi and Zion, they just get a little bit overexcited. Just because Jinx has that first reset, feels it's necessary to step forward, forgetting that Diorna is still in that rush, and find themselves getting chunked out and killed. They have the fight hard again, so I'm sniffing out something here, but I'm not sure what.
A tower going down, although maybe Wilhelm actually getting caught out. They do throw the ulti onto Zion and look for the ball, look for the double stopwatch. There are cows everywhere. Zion is going to get taken down, and so far, members are already falling as Shiklin zigs back to safety. Vanguard very, very low. Zerg does find a bit of damage onto Poke. Poke has to flash away. There's your fight.
Yeah, starts again with someone on Lucent, somewhat overstepping. We saw it not too long ago. Feels like teams are getting the reverse end plays sometimes, quite frequently in this game, but the end result is going to be Lucent picking up this mid lane inhibitor, and they have the dragon to retreat back to, and with Zion dead, which means it's going to be another Cloud Dragon denied away from Bulldog.
They were so close to that soul as well, and the team that I think do use these Cloud Drakes best are now starting to stack them. 2 Cloud Drakes in the pocket means they are able to kind of throw those ultimates out a little bit more wastefully. It's probably the best way to word it.
Yeah, a little more nonchalantly, perhaps.
You have the Eternal Winter now onto Nice Guy Dom.
Oh yeah. What's the chem tank upgrade?
It's speedy tank. Let's have a look at this though.
Speedy Gonzalez. So we had the replay. It's more or less Wilhelm kind of just overstepping. He's a little too far forward, really. Doesn't necessarily have the members by his side at the very beginning, but he's just too tanky to actually be burst down, and all of a sudden just turns into Hachi eating all the Poke. The Fate Sealed whiffs onto just about everybody, and on the bottom side Zion steps too far forward, gets blown up, I believe, by Nice Guy Dom. Poke, very fortunate to not lose his life, but the shield and the flash enough to keep his life. As Lucent now grouping up on the top side. There's nothing to be on the bottom side of the map for the next 4 minutes. And with that mid lane inhibitor, means they always know they're going to have pressure in that mid lane. Sent Rengus down to the bottom side to secure priority there, and they will have the teleport. Sleep committed onto Dom though.
Good ulti though coming in actually from both people. Everybody is getting locked down. Wilhelm will be isolated. The traps are going to pop and he's losing so much health to Vyusi. Has to jump away. Doesn't burn a single summoner spell though. I do force the teleport as the shockwave?
Knock up from
Knock
Rengus.
up, sorry. Okay, I saw that at the corner of my eye. It does look like that's all she wrote on this one for now, but both of these teams are itching to fight. Vanguard still got full health, a lot of items, level 17 on the Kai'Sa. He's really feeling it, but the waves are getting dealt with in the mid lane, and this is a problem for Bulldog. The longer they try and dance around Lucent, more and more waves start to crash into their faces, although there is no wave synced up in the top side, so it's not the end of the world for them as a Void Seeker is thrown out. There's the Tempered Fate onto Shiklin into the Mortal Shield. They got themselves the knockup. They are just going to land it onto Hachi. His big Death Rocket comes down, and that's going to be UC finding himself a kill already. Shiklin has got knocked up. Vanguard has now joined into the fight, but he is all alone, and he is isolated down. It is Bulldog who are finding the kills. They are finding the members they need. Only 2 members of Lucent are remaining. The Shockwave lands on the free by Nice Guy Dom. He does do a lot of damage in response. Rengus is interrupted, and the shield bow is procced. It's a shutdown for UC.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, looked like it was going to be a positive fight, potentially a game-ending fight for Lucent, but Vanguard steps a little bit too far forward. It was a great cast also on the other side by Poke to not only separate multiple members of Lucent, but also, I believe, threw Zerg back in, so it just turned into a free kill. We'll get the replay just for confirmation. Starts off with the Tempered Fate onto Shift-In, actually interrupts the dash portion. The Shockwave isn't committed yet, it's committed later on in the fight, and that's a nice Mega Death Rocket for a bunch of AoE damage, and you saw the cast, it was pretty nice. Turned into that first reset there for Vyusi. Dive comes just a little bit too far forward from Wilhelm, and Vanguard kind of just follows in his stead for the sake of it. Nice Guy Dom kind of recognizes they're channeling a little bit too close to that ball. Cast the ultimate, and Rengus just kind of wants to interrupt Shiklin. Gives his life over to Vyusi for the sake of that. We now sit in a situation where the game's really, really close. At this 35-minute mark. Talk about 2k gold lead. It's pretty much nothing at this stage in the game. It's more or less just going to be execution from here on out.
Yeah, both of the AD carries are pretty much full build at this point. I mean, Vanguard is full build, but BF Sword onto Vyusi, assuming that's probably going to be something like a Bloodthirster. Maybe a Stormrazor, but I feel like Bloodthirster is probably the one we're going to see from him here.
Yeah, you could. There's loads of different options. So after,
oh, GA, you could go GA as well, actually.
Yeah.
I forget that builds out BF.
Yeah, quite a few viable options here. Bulldog trying to do their best.
Hachi in for some serious trouble here as he flashes away over the wall. He's going to be able to get out from that one. Dragon Spawn up in 30 seconds as Swellseed only hits into Wilhelm, so probably not going to use that Lilting Lullaby quite yet, but Rengus going to upgrade this last item for Zerg. There you go.
He's going to buy some kills for himself too.
Ruby Crystal.
As a cute over the wall there.
They're actually getting a lot of damage, isn't it? They're finding the knockup. Vanguard flashes forward a 4-man ulti, as that is just going to be a kill for Vanguard already. Hachi getting zoned away by the Bard, and no Yone, no problems. It looks like Lucent are going to trade Soul for Baron.
I mean, if I'm Bulldog, I wouldn't even take this dragon. I don't know if I'd want to risk putting Elder on the map when you're probably not going to have positive map state. I know that sounds really, really 5-head, but Lucent, here's the thing. Lucent, if they play their cards right, they're either going to end the game within the duration of this Baron, or they're going to hold a really high line on the map. Or at least they can, in theory. And now Elder's kind of just going to be there for them to retreat to in about 5 minutes' time. Well, let's see what happens, because we've got the fight held up, and Yone's still not available for this fight for Bulldog. So if Lucent force the issue, it's going to be a 4v5.
Yeah, Rengus is shoving the wave in the mid side, looking for that inhibitor. Yusi's been caught by the Tempered Fate, and watch for the shockwave! Absolutely obliterating health bars, as it's already one shut down for Vanguard. He's looking for Yusi. He's got himself a double kill. Now Hachi's next up on the menu. It's a triple kill for Vanguard. Zion is going to get taken down. This is another quadra kill for Vanguard. An absolutely stellar performance from him on game number 1. And Lucent will take this game.
Lucent going to be opening up the series with a win here against Bulldog. Bulldog looking okay-ish in the early game, but crucially Lucent in those mid-game skirmishes coming out ahead enough. Vanguard just constantly being bought so much space, so much time to be able to layer in all of this damage. 2 quadra kills in this game number 1. Unfortunately, not going to find the pentakill for himself, but you take 2 quadras, I think, if you're
it was close.
An AD carry. It was certainly close for him, but Lucent honestly coming out swinging, and pretty big fan of the draft as well. So we'll have to see how Bulldog adapt, because typically you see for UC, he is the one that's, they put all the resources into this guy. He carries a lot of the team fights, but this Jinx pick, cool. In isolation, great. But you didn't really see the rest of the composition, and the rest of the composition kind of just meant VUC didn't get to play the game too often. So
yeah, the problem I think they had was everyone went forward, and then VUC would be on the backline going, guys, Kaiser can cross across the fight onto the backline and murder you. So pretty nice pick up there from Lucent. Obviously a really, really good game number 1. We are in a best of 5, and we did have a lot of pauses at the beginning of this show. So we're going to throw it a break, and when we're back, we'll sum up the game a little bit more. See you in a moment.